Welcome to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the greatest stories in world history, the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. This is the story of how a small city in Italy grew into the most powerful empire the world had ever seen, and how it all eventually came crashing down. So grab a seat, because this is going to be a wild ride through over 1,000 years of history. The story of Rome begins in the 8th century BC. Legend says it was founded by twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, who were raised by a she-wolf. Of course, that's myth. But historians agree Rome started as a tiny settlement along the Tiber River in central Italy. What made Rome special was its location: fertile land, trade routes, and natural defenses. Slowly, this little town grew into a small kingdom, ruled by kings. But by 509 BC, the Romans overthrew their monarchy and created a republic. And that's when things really took off. The republic was built on checks and balances. Power was shared between the Senate, elected officials, and the people. Rome's system wasn't perfect, but it gave them stability and ambition. The Romans were fierce fighters. They didn't just conquer, they absorbed people into their system. After defeating neighboring tribes, Rome went on to fight Carthage in the Punic Wars. These wars were brutal, but Rome came out on top, controlling the Western Mediterranean and gaining huge wealth. By 100 BC, Rome was no longer a city-state. It was a rising superpower stretching across Italy, Spain, North Africa, Greece, and parts of Asia. But with power came problems. Rome was rich but also divided. Ordinary citizens, called plebeians, struggled, while wealthy elites in the Senate grew richer. Generals like Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus built private armies and fought for power. Caesar, the most famous of them all, marched his army across the Rubicon River in 49 BC, sparking a civil war. He won, declared himself dictator, and began reshaping Rome. But in 44 BC, he was assassinated by senators who feared he wanted to be king. Rome plunged into chaos again. Eventually, Caesar's adopted son Octavian, later known as Augustus, defeated his rivals. In 27 BC, Augustus became the first emperor of Rome. The republic was dead. The empire was born. Under Augustus, Rome entered its golden age. For the next 200 years, Rome enjoyed what historians call the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. The empire stretched from Britain in the west to Egypt in the south, and from Spain all the way to the Middle East. Roads, aqueducts, and cities connected millions of people. Roman law and culture spread everywhere. The Colosseum, Roman baths, and great forums showed the empire's wealth. This was the height of Roman power, but cracks were already forming beneath the surface. As the empire grew, it became harder to govern. Emperors came and went, some great, like Trajan and Marcus Aurelius. Others not so great, like Nero and Caligula. The empire was constantly defending its borders against Germanic tribes, Persians, and other enemies. To pay for wars and luxury, taxes skyrocketed, corruption spread. In the 3rd century AD, Rome hit a huge crisis. Civil wars broke out, emperors were assassinated, and the empire nearly collapsed. It was so bad that Rome split its rule, eventually dividing into the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as Byzantium. The eastern half survived and even thrived, but the Western Empire was weaker. Rome itself was attacked multiple times. In 410 AD, the Visigoths, a Germanic tribe, sacked the city. Imagine the eternal city, looted and burning. For decades, Rome struggled to hold on. Finally, in 476 AD, the last Western emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was overthrown by a Germanic leader named Ottosur. This is often marked as the official fall of Rome. But here's the thing. Rome didn't really die. The Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, continued for another 1,000 years until 1453. And even after that, Rome's ideas lived on. Roman law influenced modern governments. Roman roads and engineering inspired future builders. Latin, the Roman language, became the root of Spanish, French, Italian, and more. Even today, our calendars, architecture, and political systems carry Rome's fingerprints. So that's the epic story of the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. From a tiny village on the Tiber River, to the greatest empire the ancient world ever saw, to its eventual collapse. Rome reminds us that no empire, no matter how powerful, lasts forever, but its influence can shape the world for centuries to come. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more history stories, and let me know in the comments, which part of Roman history fascinates you the most? See you in the next one.